JackieRay Phillips on YikesRadio.com and AcceleratingRadio.net. Here on the Poetry of Justice Show, this is where social consciousness meets the arts. And what we do is we select topics that spark the interest and awareness of social diversity, ranging from arts, entertainment, and social justice at large, leaving our listeners thinking and saying, ladies and gentlemen, those are the sultry sounds of my mentor, the Mr. Kevin Nash. And Mr. Kevin Nash is the owner of this proprietorship here at Yikes Radio and AcceleratingRadio.net. So I always like to give a very special shout out to Mr. Nash, because if it weren't out for his dream, what he so much loves to do, it wouldn't be possible for me to do what I so much love to do here on the Poetry of Justice Show. And then I'm going to give a very special shout out to who I call the benefactor here for the show. That's my sissy, Lori G. How are you doing tonight, pretty lady?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing good, pretty sissy. Thank you so much. Awesome sauce. And then I'm going to go ahead and give a very special shout out to one of our newer sponsorships. That is G Babies Catering, ladies and gentlemen. G Babies LLC. And I want you to check him out because this is my nephew, ladies and gentlemen. And this is Chef Macario. Again, G Babies LLC. You want to look him up on Instagram? I really appreciate that, ladies and gentlemen. Then I'd like to give a very special shout out to who we call the Man of Steel here on the Poetry of Justice Show. And that is WMPJ Steelworks, ladies and gentlemen. A very special shout out. We appreciate your sponsorship here. And then, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to tidy it up with a very special shout out to APS Muscle Cars, guys. And so this guy got some really exciting things going on. Like, let's say, for instance, if you want to, big fancy cars, you got some low riders, or maybe you want to do some customization of some hot rods, and you need somebody to do some custom builds, this is the guy you want to check out. Again, that is Memo, M-E-M-O, with APS Muscle Cars, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you all so very much for joining us here tonight on Poetry of Justice Show. We're JackieRay Phillips on YikesRadio.com and AcceleratingRadio.net. How you guys doing tonight?
I'm doing good. I'm doing very good. How are you?
How you doing tonight, sir?
I'm smooth as eggs.
What about you, Queen? You doing good?
good.
Yeah, looking good, smelling good. Everybody doing good. That's official. Lori G, how you doing tonight, Lori G? Yeah.
It's a nice show.
I know, right? Me too. Guess what, guys? I'm just gonna. My mic is on some tripping stuff. Guys, hold on, my sheet don't fix it. My sheet was wrong, right?
I don't know. Short or something? I don't know.
Let me take it away.
Yeah.
You're out of here, buddy. Beat it. Like my dad. Beat it. My mind right, as my daddy used to say, y'all. Okay, then we gotta get our Facebook together. Now we can get it together. Now we get it together. And it's okay. I miss some of my people. So much going on, guys. There we go. Bingo. Thank you so much, Rashid. I appreciate it. Thank you. How are you doing tonight? I don't even know how to introduce you. I'm just don't know so many different facets of you. Like, I've been watching your Instagram grow by leaps and bounds, in my opinion. Particularly over the last, like you say, last year to 16, 18 months. And I think the thing that is most exciting for me as a follower and a fan of your work is I love when your slogans when you say, and you're making money. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Humble hustle.
What does that mean to you?
Humble hustle.
Yeah.
Not being flamboyant or boisterous. Not trying to downplay anybody else's accomplishments or achievements. Just staying in my lane and being me and doing what I do.
I like that so much. So, ladies and gentlemen, I have Mr. Derek Thomas in the house, a.k.a. The Wheel. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm blessed.
Yes, you are.
blessed.
Yes,
Yeah.
you are. And you guys
I appreciate you having me. I appreciate you.
Me too. This has been long overdue. I've just been
Long
so
overdue.
excited and nervous all day, all weekend, you know what I mean? But we're here now, Lord. What you think? How you doing, sissy?
I'm doing great. Like I said, so excited to to talk with facts. This is an honor and a privilege, so it's going to be a great discussion.
And likewise, I appreciate the opportunity.
Hey, Lori G, I'm gonna let you take some time with Mr. Derek Thomas. You wanna go ahead and get started on some things? 'Cause I know you've been doing a lot on the technical side of things, so I'm gonna toss the ball to you for a little bit, beautiful.
Interview, I coined you as a Renaissance man, right? You do so many things that that are going on, and it's just amazing. I don't know where you get all that energy from to be so very engaged. But one thing, I usually kind of like to start at the beginning, growing up, and kind of take us chronologically forward. But I think this time I want to reverse it a little bit, maybe flip it upside down. And I'd like to maybe start our discussion about your latest project, which you talked with me about, the cannabis business.
Yeah,
Engaged in that, and share with us a little bit about that.
Wow.
yeah, I originally had my own dispensary in 2009, when I first moved to Northern California, Sacramento. During that time, it was a lot different, you know. You had a lot of federal agents that would come into the dispensary checking your books. You know, you couldn't have employees, they had to be considered as volunteers. It was just a big hassle in the beginning. So after about maybe a couple of years, I let it go. And now I have my foot back in it a little bit. I'm working with a company called Colas. They have me as a cannabis specialist. And it's one of the biggest dispensaries in Sacramento, 7 stores. We do delivery, we do curbside service. And it's a $1 billion business, you know. I was reading some information the other day that said that right now the cannabis industry is around a 17 to $20 billion a year business. In around 2025, it should be a $30 billion business. And they give 5% back to the community. That's mandatory that you give 5% back to the community. They give jobs to all walks of life, you know, black, white, Asian, gay, straight, disabled, you know. Even during Corona time, they were still hiring. They put you, when you first start, you have to go to a university for 6 days and get trained. And you actually get a certificate from the state of California that says you are a cannabis specialist. That when the person walks in there and say, hey, I have, because it's not about just smoking weed. It's about healing people. You know what I mean? You have cancer patients that come in there. You have tinctures. You have different things besides flour that helps people, you know, get through the day. They don't want to use the traditional ibuprofens and these things that are, you know, eating your liver up and eating your stomach up and stuff like that. They want to go on the natural route. So these are the things that you get trained in when you become a cannabis specialist. That way when somebody walks in, you can explain to them, hey, this is what you need for a backache. Or if, you know, you have arthritis, or, you know, you have actual flower, marijuana, there's nothing but CBD. You know what I mean? There's nothing but healing agents, no THC in it at all.
Wow.
Yeah, so, you know, I wanted to get back in it because I like the fact that we are making a difference in people's lives every day. We're helping people, you know. Yeah, so that's what made me get back into it.
Everybody's saying hey to you already on Facebook.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
The fabulous Judy.
Floss, where you at, man?
I
Pull
know,
up.
WNA.
Right, pull up, man.
I'm sorry about yeah. What do you think, Rashid, about the cannabis business? Where are you at on that spectrum?
Man, I do partake in cannabis every now and again. I'm not a frequent flyer. As what people like to say, I'm not a frequent flyer, but I dabble here and there. Any cannabis, or sometimes with the CBD, CBD oil, or
Tinctures, bombs.
yeah.
I'm a cancer survivor, so I use it for a lot of different reasons. You know what I mean? I'm actually a 2-time cancer survivor. You know, so I had prostate cancer twice. So I take it for a lot of different reasons. Even though as a youngster, I started for a whole totally different reason, but as I got older, and now since we are really learning about what cannabis really does, how it really helps and heals people, and by me going to this university and learning, you know, what terps are and what tinctures are, bombs and what they do, I mean, it's really helping people, man. 'Cause, you know, the pharmaceutical company, you know, you might take a pill for one thing, but it's gonna give you these 3 or 4 different side effects. You
And
know,
goodness knows what's happened to the liver.
my mom she has epilepsy, so she takes a medicine for epilepsy, but this same medication is eating her liver and her kidney up. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
that's what a lot of the side effects of the pharmaceutical, prescribed medication can be. Where they actually have side effects where it's a kidney because I have lupus.
Right.
Myself, and sometimes with the actual cannabis helps stops certain electrical shocks
Exactly.
that'll sometimes course through
It's
my
a
face.
medicine. It's definitely a medicine. If it's used properly and you have the proper information and you understand what to get for what your particular issue is, it's definitely gonna help you. You know what I mean?
I concur.
Yeah.
Well, do you have any idea, any input with regard to cannabis and the revolution?
Cannabis is definitely, it's revolutionizing a whole new industry, right? And there are some conspiracy theories that Western medicine doesn't want us to grow that natural side of healing, as you said, that has so many healing properties. And I'm just curious, Derek, I was doing some research and I read how it was becoming very difficult for individuals, specifically people of color, to gain a license to have a dispensary, and that those lines were being drawn between minority businesses and big corporations. Did you have any difficulty or challenges in that way?
Definitely. There's a company right now called Core in Northern California, where I live at now. It's a black lady, and she's actually in the process right now. She's done everything legally that she needs to do to acquire a dispensary. She found the right location, because it has to be the proper zone. It can't be by a school, apartment buildings. And so most of them are in industrial areas. She's done everything that she needs to do to acquire a dispensary, and the state of California still won't get it in. But you have a lot of, people of different nationalities, Armenians, a lot of Armenians, a lot of Caucasians, that have dispensaries and they don't have that now. The flip side of it is it's only so many dispensaries that you can have in one place because of the zone. So they open it up at a certain point every year. Right now, it's supposed to be 10 in Northern California. I don't know about LA because LA is a bigger market. But in Northern California, there's 10 openings right now for people to get dispensaries. And she's the only black woman trying to get a dispensary. And they give her the worst price. She created her own university like everybody else. She's bringing people in, training them, teaching them what cannabis is about, making them cannabis specialists. She's done everything that she needs to do, and she's having the worst time trying to get a dispensary. So it is. Yeah, but that's
She's still fighting for it?
she's still fighting. When I left Sacramento yesterday, she was on the radio speaking about that. She's fighting, and I hope I support her. The people that I work with are Armenians. I support everybody that's doing it. But I support my people. I think doors should be open for us as well because, like my brother that's here with me right now, Corvain, that was released from prison by Donald Trump. That's his brother. He was, and you have companies like Farmer and the Felon. That's a cannabis company. Farmer and the Felon, and what was the project?
Last Prisoner Project.
Last Prisoner Project. And they released his brother. The last day of Trump's presidency.
Last 5 minutes, while Trump was going through his own impeachment, his own thing, he managed to, black people from South Central Los Angeles don't get pardons. That's not even letting people bank on in the legalities of the case.
Right.
So for a blessing like that to come down after doing 9 years of being, life for marijuana.
They give them life for marijuana.
Life without.
Life without. For
Yeah.
marijuana.
That's insane.
For marijuana.
That's what I was just gonna ask about, was like,
You've probably seen him on the news.
I'm definitely gonna have him up here for you guys too.
Yeah.
But, so he can tell his own story, but yeah, it was all trees.
how does the legalization of weed now impact those who are incarcerated and have sentences due to?
And that's some of the questions that need to be answered. What do you do with a guy like his brother or other guys who are sitting in jail right now with 20, 30, 40 years for marijuana? Nothing violent, you know, just marijuana. What do you do with them now? Because marijuana is legal.
Exactly, so you do,
What happens with them?
And another thing, how they, like say you take any other kind of drug or any other type of controlled substance, they have a lane for addicts. There's nothing of, oh, well, he just uses it, like how if you're on opioid, you can get Prop 36 they used to have and stuff like that because you're addicted to it. You can play, I just use it. Marijuana doesn't have that lane. It's criminal, no gray area, possession. You know what I'm saying?
It's a Schedule 1, Level 1 drug.
Yeah.
The federal government, but see, it's only legal statewide. The feds still don't recognize it.
I know, right?
Now, they had a law that passed around November, and it's getting there. Now the flip side is the feds take the money from the dispensaries.
That's what I'm saying.
Because we still pay taxes and everything. They take the money, but they'll still take you to jail for it. And it's a Schedule 1 drug, which means it's considered the same as heroin.
So you can basically call it a judgment call.
Right.
Because if one institution recognizes it and another one does it, but they're both authoritative institutions, there is a way to solve this. It's just a judgment call. Because if a state, different states can choose to say, you know what, we ain't gonna do this to our people. But if you go outside those lines, you're still subject to the law. Okay, we from California. The reason why Arizona really had to change their law because Arizona, Vegas, it's a triangle of travelers. Money is in the tomb. All these California people are going to jail for marijuana because our lifestyle, we can rock.
Right, for sure.
So it's a judgment call type of thing at this point because as we've seen, look how fast they got the opioid addiction. They go straight to the victims.
Right.
Because that's not our problem in our community.
Because it became a problem.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And they got all these new laws to protect them, and then I think even the first responders have certain drugs to like hurry up and get them back to life.
Yeah.
What about us? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
They always claim the dirty cocaine.
Yeah.
But the thing that I think is so amazing for us as a people is that for those of us who find a way to squiggle through or rise above the madness, you know what I'm saying? And then once we do that, what do you think about that?
I mean, we're the kings and queens. You know, you can't. I always tell people all the time, if 400 years of slavery couldn't get rid of us, there's no other race on this planet that could survive 400 years of slavery and still thrive the way we're thriving. You know what I mean? So, I feel like whatever we go through, everything is a blessing or a lesson. Some things are both. You know what I mean? We go through them because the Creator wants us to go through that, to create you and make you be the person or who you're supposed to be. And to help people coming along that's going to go through, with me and the cancer, I feel like I didn't have a problem with going through it. I didn't even really speak about it to a lot of people because I just felt in my heart that wasn't my final call. You feel me? I just felt like that this was another thing that I have to go through, so when somebody else is going through it, I can help them get through it. Because that's what we really put here for, is to help each other as human beings. You know what I'm saying?
I do.
So and I took it in stride, and now I run into people, and they might say, well, hey, I got cancer, and they might feel like it's a death sentence, and I'm like, man, you're gonna be all right. They're like, no, I don't know if I'm gonna be all right. I'm telling you, you're gonna be all right because I've been through it. And when you tell them that, it's like, for real? And to help somebody get through something like that, that's better than money to me.
I know, right?
You know what I'm saying?
You can help somebody change their life and see that smile on their faces. That's when you know it's all right. What's up, boss man? How you doing?
How's everybody doing?
We doing good. Look at here.
Hey,
boss.
Zach.
How you
How
doing?
y'all doing? What's
Good.
going
How you
on?
doing? You being good? Nah, he ain't being
My
good.
bad.
He being floss the boss. That's
My
what he
bad.
do.
Yeah.
Okay, so look at here. The cannabis business, we were talking about it, Flossie. Just real quick, what is your opinion on individuals who are still serving time for selling weed? You know what I'm saying? And then now we have cannabis that has been legalized.
They said everybody should be out on that, especially on the federal level, because that's where everybody got really, you know, that's where most people got messed up on that federal level. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So yeah, all that should be retroactive. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
For real.
Can it not be done that way, there because it does not recognize by the federal government here in terms of the legalization? Does that
Yeah,
make a
because the
difference?
federal government, like I said, they take the money, but they still don't recognize it. It's still considered a Schedule I drug.
Right.
It's the same as heroin, you know? Yeah, so, and you know, they're not,
I know, right?
I read something the other day, I don't know if this is exact numbers, but it said that there are around 40,000 people in California who are in prison for marijuana. His brother was one of them. 40,000 people. So can you imagine them having to let 40,000 people out of jail?
That's their money. Yeah, that's their money.
That's
Right.
all right.
Right.
And then telling 40,000 people, oops.
Now you gotta pay them.
Yeah,
All the
yeah,
time.
basically.
George Floyd family, Minnesota, they gave his family $27 million. Right, because the cop is going through trial right now for that, for killing George. So my thing is, okay, if the state has already paid his family $27 million, then he should be guaranteed a conviction. Because that means that the state has already said you did something wrong.
Right, right.
You know what I'm saying? $27 million can't bring George Floyd back.
Yeah.
But you definitely should never touch the streets again. As
You
a
think
cop,
they will? What do you guys think?
no way.
They box it up in so much
No.
different dialogue, cause then they can just go on and mask the whole crime and call it what? Civil.
Right.
Yeah.
What about that insurgent?
It's civil case, you know what I'm saying?
Right,
So,
insurgents.
You see what I'm saying? Their treatment, you know, in terms of how they've been treated in the law, do we think that
The
there's any
insurgent,
disparity there?
the insurgent thing showed me white privilege on a whole nother level. Because there is, if I'm not mistaken, there is a shoot to kill order if you walk up on those stairs.
Basically.
Right, that's
There's
what
a
it's
shoot-
supposed to be.
There's a shoot to kill order if you walk up on those stairs like
They didn't do
that.
that.
Let us in the studio run up on there right now, watch what happens.
On the grass. We ain't gonna make it on the grass. We ain't gonna make it to the stairs. We on
I
the
heard
grass.
there even been an active investigation on why that was able to happen.
Right.
Yeah. That's-
There's not even an active,
Right.
let's just see how it happened type of thing. It's like, you feel me? Media
Right.
controls the whole narrative and, everybody got the microwave mindset, so
It
we
was
just forget.
it was the perfect example of white privilege to me. And it shows the unbalance that's still in America. You know, we have 400 years of catching up to do. You know what I mean? And I don't think that the powers that be of America will never, ever let this be a level playing field for us. I don't think they will. But the man upstairs got the last say so.
That's true.
So we gonna still thrive and we gonna still do what we do. And,
Right.
you
They can
know,
be a little bit more extra with it now. Put some extra floss on it.
Yeah.
Flosstober, ladies and gentlemen.
I was reading something not too long ago, and they said that, the people who, go to like Egypt and they dig for tombs and, what are they called? Astrologists. Not astrologists, archaeologists.
Exactly.
Found, they went, as you go deeper in the core of the earth, you got fossils and things like that, like trees, from time periods. So they go down so far into the core of the earth, and they find a black woman, millions and millions of years old. You know what I mean? Millions and millions of years old. Yeah,
The
without a
facts
doubt.
is there. The facts is there.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, you gotta understand, a black woman, that's the first thing that touched it. That's the first thing that touched it. You know what I mean? That's where it come from.
That's life.
There's nothing on planet Earth better than a black woman. And when everybody can understand that,
Let me smack right.
Man, we'll be a better place to live.
I know I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for one.
Come on, man.
So I
You
did
did the best.
some research into the actual prosecutions on individuals that's in prison because of marijuana.
Right.
So it's over 54,000 marijuana-related convictions
Wow.
that are still
Candy. I know, people still need to get,
yeah,
that's crazy.
yeah, because because prosecutors are trying to actually get those 54,000 out of there, and this was back in 2019. So I don't know the actual the actual progress that they've made, and actually, and maybe cutting that in half. But again, there's still over 50,000 people that are
Insane,
in
man.
prison for
Something that's legal.
yes.
That I go to work every day and sell to people.
What comes off the ground.
Yeah, it's legal now. Hey, when I was in jail, on my last case, on my way to pen, I ran into this white dude that had caught a case for marijuana on his first term. He got hit with a manufacturing case also. See, a lot of people don't understand, the solution that they use for you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
They was hit, you could get hit with a manufacturing case, you know what I'm saying? And that's what they was hitting people with, you know what I'm saying? Cause once you use that solution, they send you mixing chemicals,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying, when you doing that indoor and all of that. So you get the manufacturing case also, on top of the weed case, you know what I'm saying? So that's why I say
It's
that,
the trickery.
huh?
That's the trickery.
And that's
Yeah,
the plan.
yeah. A lot of people didn't know that, yeah, a lot of people didn't know that,
That's when it comes
going
to
in the early
federal.
ages,
Now,
stages.
That
to the next division to
last
where-
prisoner project that he was talking about, if you go and pull that up, they have different stories of different people that they all work, cause they're all working, the last prisoner project is working with all those people that he's talking about. Their mission is to get all 54,000 people out of jail. They have one story that I read, it was two brothers out of San Francisco. I don't know if they were brothers, let me take that back, it was two friends that went to a pawn shop to sell a radio, pawn radio that they had. When they went in the pawn shop, the guy in the pawn shop asked them, did they have any weed for sale? They said, no, we don't have no weed for sale, but we got a joint in the car, if you want, you can have it. He said, yeah, I want it. Dude, go to the car, get the joint, bring it back. The dude in the pawn shop was a federal agent, arrested the guy, and he did 20 years in jail.
I know, like, right, I feel like,
You can go on the Last Prisoner
this in
Project
Texas?
website. You can go on the Last
Like,
Prisoner
for
Project website.
You gonna do it
Cause
first?
they got your brother,
Yeah.
thing, but you can go on the Last Prisoner Project website, you can
Okay.
read that story. They put this dude in jail for 20 years for a joint that they asked him for. He didn't go in there to sell weed, he went in there to sell some speakers,
Oh my
Wow.
God.
and wound up doing 20 years in jail.
One would think that should be some sort of entrapment.
That's exactly what it is.
Judgment call, I was telling
I
you.
remember what year did they throw the entrapment out, because they used to get, the entrapment, they used to lose their cases on that,
Yeah.
and then they changed the law on that, you know what I'm saying? That, you know,
That was in the
entrapment-
90s.
Exactly, that's when that law changed, yeah. Yeah, cause entrapment, they used to do that,
Entrapment,
yeah. They threw that out the window and regrouped with the 90s, yeah.
It's bingo.
So we just make up some new shit, we just,
There-
we don't like it no more, I don't
Yeah.
like it.
There's no such thing as entrapment.
Yeah, exactly, that's off the books now.
Yeah.
That is
It is.
absolutely
That's
It
how,
is.
that's how they made a lot of the arrests in the early 90s and the 80s on the cocaine. On, you know, brothers out here in these streets selling drugs, they was entrapping them, you know what I'm saying?
One thing I tell people all the time is when people start talking about reparations and all these different things that they want, before we think about reparations and all of those things, we need to go and change these laws. You still have laws on the books down south that say we are like, what, 1/3 or what is that, human?
Yeah.
Those laws are still on the books right now.
Yeah, you're right.
You know what I mean? So before we get to reparations and money, let's get into these laws and change some of these laws.
Do you think they think that of us or thought that of us because we do endure what was, you know what I mean, like the horrors and the trauma? Our race has not been erased, which we tend to think that may why, you know what I'm saying? Like,
No laws that are, no amendments on the book right now was, black people were not, that was not thought process. With the forefathers of this country, when they made the first, second, even the 14th Amendment with Abraham Lincoln, you know, that, with the we are all equal and all of that, that wasn't intended for us.
Right,
That was intended for
For
them.
them.
We are never, ever, none of these laws have ever been intended for us at all. You're right. Period.
Yeah.
That's what the Civil War was behind.
Yeah.
Because they lost their property. Right?
Yeah, I took my Cadillac out my front yard.
They lost their property and they wanted to
Family
fight
Cadillacs.
behind losing their property. And that was us.
That's a shame.
Crazy, right?
This ABC series called Soul of a Nation,
Yeah, I am.
I think, at about 10 o'clock. And there was this episode a couple of weeks back that looked at this woman's life. She's 98, I guess, but she can remember her great-great-grandmother and father who were actual slaves, I think in Alabama.
Right.
And they're called the Magruder family. And they were able to find documents where the slave grandfather was owned by a family, and he was a breeder. And so what he did is they sent him to all the different plantations to impregnate the female slaves to increase their lifestyle. Ended up having, you know, like 60 offspring that came back. And they all got together, you know, the generations of the offspring from those slaves. So we clearly we're not, as you say, Derek, in anybody's mind as rights for us.
At all.
Hey, Lord.
I have a question.
Like Flossie said,
Hey, Lord.
I have a question about that. Was it something physically, about the guy, like a big, strong guy? Like, what made them pick him to be
Yeah, it was
the, like, you know how you get a pit bull, you like, he got a
That's
full-blooded.
That part.
What was it about the brother that,
Right.
you know what I'm
those
saying?
characteristics,
That's what I
right.
want.
That's
They
exactly.
call
It's
him-
like brand new dogs, yeah.
They make
He just didn't get picked, you know, something about him.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah,
His
Physically.
genes.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Jack Johnson type brother.
Yeah. Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. And all of his offspring, you know? Yeah.
I get it.
Was he charismatic?
I'm just thinking like the tragic mulatto part. I mean, some of those things are really still real. You know what I'm trying to
It's
say?
still going on to this day.
It really kind of is.
Yeah,
It
so
really
Donald-
kinda
the presidency of Donald Trump showed everybody, cause see, black folks got too comfortable when Obama got in office. We was like, oh, it's changed now, everything's different. And then Trump came along, everybody was like, oh, no, everything
It's just
is
so
still
wrong.
the same.
Like, don't get it twisted.
Yeah, don't get it twisted, you know what I'm saying?
God.
Don't get it twisted, you know, it's just
You know,
still the same.
when we fight against the system, it don't matter who's pushing the button, cause the system is in place, it's just, you
And
just managing the
it was
system.
created by
That's-
them.
You just getting a new
You know?
manager of the same system,
You
that's all I'm
can't, you
getting.
can never buck a system that was created by somebody else, and especially when it wasn't created for
For us,
you.
Cause it's the structure,
Right.
it ain't the person. The
You know what I
structure's
mean?
fucked up.
You know what I'm saying? Abraham Lincoln freed the slaves only because of one reason, because he was losing the war against the Confederates.
It wasn't that.
So he freed the slaves, and that gave him 200,000, 300,000 more people to fight. You see what I'm saying? And then when he turned around and said, hey, I want black people to vote, that's when John Wilkes Booth, they said, he told him this the last speech he gonna ever give. You want them to vote too?
That 38 on.
Yeah.
That 38
You already
on.
freed him, now you want them to vote too?
Put that long nose on him.
Yeah, you won't never see him no more.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Could you
Before that come into life, yeah. Yeah.
That's such a solemn thing.
It is, but
That's
guess
called
what?
History.
Even though all of that went on, we still thriving.
I know, huh?
Man,
That's so true.
we some beautiful people,
We
man.
are.
If I die and come back, please make me black.
For real.
Please make me black.
But,
What era would you wanna be born
You
in?
feel me?
You gonna change your era, or you gonna stay in the same era?
What era?
Ooh, I gotta stay in the same area.
Take me to the 80s.
70s,
Let
80s.
me take you to the 80s, yeah, take me back to the 80s.
Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
let me go back to the 80s.
I
Right.
definitely don't want to.
Leave me right there, Dave.
Now,
All
70s,
right.
that's where a lot of the marijuana OS happened.
Right.
Yeah.
Was in
And
the 70s.
the seventies was the residue of the sixties and fifties. So we still understood. I was born in '72, so I understood the '50s and '60s. My parents and all of them, we were still under the Black Power and those were what were they called, the baby boomers, right?
Yeah, baby boomers.
Yeah.
My mom.
And then we were
Love Generation A?
we were Generation X.
Yeah.
You feel me? Now they're the millenniums now. You know what I'm saying?
And then there's some new ones too. What, Rashid? What's the,
Millennium,
I'm
yeah.
from the Pepsi
what's the new one,
generation.
Lola?
I'm from Curl,
Gen Z? Gen Z.
Yeah.
What is it called?
Gen Z.
That's the new one?
Yeah.
Gen Z.
I'm
Wow.
not from the Snapple generation.
Wow.
All day on Fonzo,
Gerber
Barrel.
milk.
You know what I'm saying? Home roll.
That is
Silver
insane.
spoons and Three's Company, baby.
Come on, man.
Oh my God.
Jack Trick.
Remember you thought you was gonna get saved? Remember every time Willis got mad, he wanted to go back to Harlem? Willis get hot. I'm going back to Arnold like, what?
Arnold was like, I'm cool right here.
I ain't going back.
What you talking about, Will?
Yeah.
When you're right here with Massa. What is wrong with
I
you?
listen, that was cold, wasn't it? And we love that show. We really didn't recognize this white man and raised these two black people.
Pancakes never look like
He
theirs,
just
though.
done took them.
Pancakes.
Just took them.
They pancake game was cold. Never had a pancake like that. Never got 4 of them.
Mrs. Garrett, she just frying it
Just took these
down.
black kids.
Hey, we had to lighten it up a little bit, you know.
And took these black kids and raised them for themselves.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
I can't find a white family.
Come on, man. I bet you they living in the hood, though. We got a big old house, jogging
Yeah.
down Vermont. Can't touch
Hey,
them.
cause once I'd have been there, yeah, I wasn't going back either.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
That is hilarious. Okay.
Man.
Now, word on the street is that you're thinking about transitioning out of the music side of your empire. Not out completely, but just kind of focusing on some other things. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, with the state of the music right now, the music game is at a point right now where it's not even really about talent anymore. It's about gimmicks and money, You have a website right now, I don't know if a lot of people are aware of it, it's called Starlight. And what Starlight does is, they have different packages. You got a campaign package, these different packages, where you can pay them this amount of money, they're gonna promote your songs for you, put you where you need to be, get you interviews everywhere you need to go. It don't matter if you got talent or whatever, and you out there. So you can pretty much pay your way into the rap game right now. You know what I mean?
Wow, what you think about that, Rashid?
Man, we're pretty evident on that right now with a lot of rappers that are out here right now that literally sound like they can't say English.
Right.
The vocals.
Right. There's no content, no creativity. And that's what he said about the 80s. In the 80s, with rap, I came up in a generation where I remember where there was no rap music at all. We grew up on disco, R&B, right. My father, my father was a writer from Motown for 10 years. Him and Jerry Long Sr., which is a rapper named Cocaine, that's his father. They were writers for Motown for years, so I grew up listening. They listened to jazz, and where rap all it came from. Jazz and blues, Miles Davis, Lena Horne, those type of things. So I grew up on this type of music even before rap ever came along. I remember when rap started. So, for it to come from where we came up from, because hip-hop was a culture. It was a way of living, it was a lifestyle. The way you dress, the way you act, bomber jackets, Turkish ropes, shell-toe Adidas,
Oh, my Turkish roll,
Right. Yeah,
And
what
then
I'm
when
saying?
they break, girls make earrings.
The bamboo earring.
At least 3 pairs.
At least 3 pairs.
Got to have it.
You know what I'm saying? And to see it get to a point now where you don't have to have, rap was basically like poetry. You know what I mean? It was the same thing. And to see it get to a point now where you don't have to have any talent at all, you can just you know, come up with a gimmick, you know, a cool little dance, say the same thing over and over again.
Just buy your way.
Right. So me and my partner right here, my boy Bowlegs, we say, you know what? We should start getting into writing these movies and these documentaries. Because guess what? The soundtrack, now we can make the music how we want it to sound. Right. Right. Because now you're in control of the soundtrack. So we thinking about old school. Me and him was talking about this yesterday.
Yeah.
What's your favorite old school soundtrack? Above the Rim, Poetic Justice, Murder Was the Case. You feel me?
Next question was,
Yeah, them was a cool
what was the
soundtrack.
last one?
Superfly?
You feel me? Even the remember the movie
Dead
Brown
President
Sugar?
soundtrack.
Remember Brown
Yeah,
Sugar? That soundtrack.
the
was
Let's
dope.
Do It Again, the Let's Do It Again.
Let's Do It Again.
Oh, man,
Oh,
that's one of my
Claudine,
favorites.
Claudine,
yeah.
Superfly.
Superfly, man,
You know what I
my
mean?
theme music.
You know the
yeah, my
bad
theme
self
music.
sing
You
song.
feel me?
I like like y'all done listen to the Boomerang
Yeah,
soundtrack.
So now my thing is I really want to move into what's really my real true passion is writing movies. You know what I mean? I really got into the music thing because it's something that I've been involved in all my life. So, you know, I kind of grew into that from my father. I love music. That's my first love. I'm always love music. You know what I mean? But right now, me being 50 years old now, and that's really what I want to do. It's time for me to move on and do what I really want to do. You know what I mean? And it's really writing movies, documentaries, TV shows, stuff like that.
Crashing into new territory. You
Right,
see what I'm
it's that
saying?
time.
Like the ship.
Writing books, you know.
Oh my goodness, this is all good stuff, people, don't you think? What you got to say, Lori G?
Think about that,
That's a share.
that you're making that transition. And you sent us a little clip of, your latest project. Is it okay if we show that now?
Yeah, sure,
Okay.
please do.
Let me show you that.
Yeah, hold on. Let me actually see if I can actually get to the actual thing. Okay.
Now I'm gonna get you giggity rush it last time.
Yeah, because for some reason, oh, I can do this.
This is it right here, bud. Yay.
Nah, I had to click here. I had it ready to go. But for some reason, it's not letting me share it on the.
Well, while y'all doing that, I'm letting this is my partner right here. This is Bowlegs.
Okay.
And he's with Empire, guy who's actually producing and writing the documentary that I'm in. It's called Welcome to LA, Music and Gangbanging. And well, I'm gonna let him tell you what it's more about.
Okay.
Here you go, Larry.
I'm Bowlegs, with Stick Gang the Movement, Larger Than Life is the label. I call him, I call the OG Cubone. I had an idea, and the idea was to bring the West together. So to bring the West together, I had to go with some real ones to the street. Not the younger generation, I had to go to the older generation. I was born and raised here. I went to Horseman, I went to Crenshaw. So I'm like, man, it's too much talent in the West. Not enough notoriety. Then we got Bloods and Crips. I'm like, why are they still fighting? Well, we just can't get money. So I said, we're gonna put this together, but I'm gonna get some real ones. Not saying nobody else ain't real, but the ones I know to tell their story. Meaning, been looked down on in California for years because of gangbanging. Well, it's a culture that we can't take back. So instead of everybody looking at gang members as just animals and just killers, it was time for them to tell their story. Because it ain't like they just get up to go kill. So I said, let's sit down and do this. So me and my guy, he was like, let's go. So I've been on the freeway for the last 3 months. From Sac to here to, so I moved to the Central Coast.
Okay.
So I stay on the freeway because I want to get this done because I feel if the West, meaning Bloods and Crips, can come together with the talent, can't nobody mess with it.
Right.
It's too much talent in California itself. But they pick and choose who they're gonna let in. When I started music, I said I'm not doing it in LA. I went to the Bay.
Better
Too much
check.
politics.
Because they support.
Right.
They've been living hood rich for the longest. You know, so I started out there like 90. I was going back and forth. I said, when the day come, I'll mess with LA. It's too much politics though. I mean, y'all know it's too much politics. How many homies you know that rap and ain't got put on yet? Go to the Bay, everybody put on some type of way.
That's real dope rappers, and they
Exactly.
never been put on.
So now we gotta figure this out. And I've been figured out to where I went back and got him. All them affiliated with this music stuff. So they called some homies that said, hold on, let's see what this is about. It went from me, one part documentary. I dropped my promo at 6:30 in the morning. I hadn't been asleep none that night. I dropped my promo, went to sleep. I woke up, he had called me like 5 times. He was like, Lance, they calling me. I was like, what's up? He was like, everybody, a lot of folks want to get home. I said, that's good. So it went from a 1 part to a 4 part.
Wow.
You know, I was planning on
Can't
dropping
wait.
it
Yeah.
by summer.
It's getting bigger and bigger, like.
It's like the blob, remember?
It
You
just
just
took
keep
off.
rolling and just keep taking, remember, you just take more and more,
It
just
just took, it
gulps
just,
you in.
it just took off because you got so many cats on the street that haven't had a platform or a place where they can, you know, speak, because, you know, we keep seeing the same people, and it's cool, it's nothing against, you know, the Dub C's or the MC8s or the whoever. You know, we get it, y'all are real ones too, but it's other people out here, the lost ones that
Need
they
a
want-
turn.
They got something to say too. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it's really about, is just giving them a chance to say, you know, what made me feel like I needed to join a gang, and what was my purpose? Because everybody, it's not about killing up people and all that. It's never been about that. You know, these are just people who our mamas know each other. We all friends, you know what I mean? We were kids who all went to church together, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, so we are civilized people, you know what I'm saying?
But everybody's stories is different.
Everybody's stories is different. This a man right here, this dude have been shot 3 or 4 different occasions,
No way.
you know what I'm saying?
Why he can't tell his story?
Why he
Right.
can't tell his story?
We gonna come back and tell your story. You
Yeah.
gotta come back and tell the story.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Because and he's definitely somebody that you wanna talk to. Yeah, without a doubt. You know what I mean?
It's you know, on my behalf, I ain't never banged her. It just wasn't up my alley. What I look like running from somebody, for one. But it's like, now, music is too easy to do.
It's no art into it.
None. So,
The art is gone, so it's like no content.
exactly. So I said, I'm producing this album myself. I don't want nobody send me no music. You want to be a part of it, we're going to sit down and talk. Because I don't want nobody to take the direction. I'm going back to where we started. We started from sampling. From day one.
Go back.
Remember, nobody liked us for that.
All right, I got it.
I got something.
Nobody liked us, remember that?
Sample
So-
fed a lot of people.
Exactly. You know, so I said, this album right here gonna stand away from everything they can put out the last few years, because I went and got some real ones that can rap.
Alright. Alright, so here's the actual video from Stick Game the Movement. This is your promo video. Here you go.
Well, as a youngster, I never really wanted to gang rap. I really wanted to be a people. I wasn't want to treat by the dope dealers. You know, the cars, the clothes, the jewelry.
You know, some people that be born in it. I was born into a businessman, Slaughter Village, gladiators, Rome, all these parents, my father, mothers, and they also should play girls.
Get it.
This is my mother's story.
Get it.
In 1964 in the LA Bud
Okay.
Fight by 63.
That's the first single.
check this
Yeah.
out. Yeah, you guys were talking about original content and stuff like that. So let's just talk about some originality. This is a piece of poetry that I recently wrote, and it's called Genuine. She says, soft and tender are the heart and the heat of the tongue. The soft and the tender, the membranes, do flowingly love thee. An excursion of my mind, dedicated until the end of all time. The science of my mind meditates onto the membranes of my soul. Exciting are the energies of the love flowing strong through and with synchronized passions. The exotic, the erotic experience of inner peace, everlasting and forever, closer and closer to love's bright lights, amplified every time. It's genuine. The poetry.
Hey, that was,
Hey,
that was like some Cherry
I felt like I
McMillan.
just drank some water after a cold winter night.
You feel me? That was dope.
That was nice.
That was dope. I like that.
Thank you guys for listening. Thank you for my favorite time.
It's crazy,
You like
yes.
the boss man?
Yes.
Forever, you know what's crazy?
Poetry.
I had a female that I was gonna do a piece on there in certain parts of the
Now
documentary,
you got her.
Yeah, yeah.
you know.
What I got.
Sign me up.
I feel like
That's right.
we could add that in because it's touching.
Yeah, without a doubt. You can segue into pieces like that, without a doubt.
I've only got about 42 of them.
That's the passion in the voice.
This is the new book that I
Yeah,
wrote.
That was dope.
I just want to share that with everybody. What was it? Can we tell this little tidbit? What was it like hanging out with Barry White?
Man, you know,
Well, you know what I
Barry White was my godfather, man. I used to hang at South Park with him. I used to watch him play chess. And, you know, Barry White was, a lot of people don't know, man, Barry White ran with the Fire Trade Avalons and the Businessmen and all of them dudes back in the days, man. And as a youngster, as a kid, I didn't really realize who he was. I was too young, you know what I mean? As I got older, I realized, you know what I mean, like, damn, that was my godfather. You know, it was like when Marvin Gaye, when he got killed, I remember me being with my father, and we were over there in front of his house. I remember sitting in the car, and it was just like cameramen running up and down the street. And I didn't really even know where we were at, you know what I mean? Because I was like 5, 6 years old. I was so young. And, you know, that was the day that, you know, these were my father's friends, you know what I mean? Bobby Blue Bland, he was a blues player. That was a good friend. Yeah, that was one of his good friends, you know? So I just didn't really realize, you know, to me, it was just my godfather. It was just the dude who I used to go to the park and watch him play chess. And I would see him on Soul Train sometimes singing, you know? That was just, you know, but I didn't really get, you know, you know, who he really was until I got older, you know, and I was like, wow, you know, that was great.
What you think, Laura G? What you got going on over there? I see the wheels turning.
Yeah, I want to say hey to Chris. Chris has joined us. Say hey, Chris.
Hey, Chris.
Hey, Chris.
Hey, Chris. Welcome to the show, lady. Come and blossom.
We blessed. I'm blessed. How are you, young lady? That's what's up.
That's for real. So, Chris, was you in the studio today? What you had going on, lady?
I'm on somebody else's stuff, so I'm, working on his stuff, and he's not from this country, so he's Nigerian, but
Okay.
it's, different, trying to do something in another language.
Okay. All righty. Well, that's a good thing.
Something else on his own. think mine's gonna be very controversial, or very black. It's gonna be very black.
You were wild with Chris. Thank you, Mama. I'm glad you're here, pretty girl. All right, Lori, you go do your thing.
Documentary, because that little snippet you gave me, man, I became so intrigued by that.
And
So, it's legs, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's his name,
Yes.
yeah. His name's Bow Legs. Can't hear? Hold on, Lori.
For the film and,
hold on, Lori.
when we can expect to see it,
Hold on,
and what you're trying to express in making it.
Please repeat that one more time, please.
Share with us a little bit about your vision for the film and your motivation for developing it and the messaging that you want to come out of this piece.
I want to pretty much show the talent outside of the gangbanging. Because you got the banging on wax, you got the nation of rise and all of that. That didn't really show that these guys are really talented. So now we're gonna show them that they could talk about every day instead of gangbanging stuff, other stuff, because they really talented. You know, the albums they did was more for the hoods. Now, I want to take it to a whole different level because I hear them, I'm like, man, why y'all ain't signed? You know what I'm saying? And I want to open up it with the Bloods and the Crips to understand y'all can still Blood and Crip, but y'all don't have to bang on each other, disrespect each other. That's all. There's too much money in this music and TV for us not to do it.
Right.
What do you think,
Why-
Lawson?
Why can't be no understanding there? You know, and it's just like, money is green at the end of the day.
Wow.
You know, so, and why I'm doing it, because I'm from the West Coast. Forever, I was pro-West. I don't want to hear nothing from the East Coast, none of that. Because my generation, they made me that way.
I'm guilty.
Right?
I ain't gonna lie, me too, though.
But they made us that way.
They made us that
Remember,
way.
we couldn't get airplane.
No.
They didn't, we was Jerry curl wearing faggots, all that.
Oh my God.
You feel me?
It's
The
horrible.
women wasn't, excuse my shit, because they wore braids. But look at it now. Everywhere you go, there's a Crip or a Blood.
Right.
Everywhere you go,
And
they
want
got their
everybody.
wigs, they got their braids, white, Latino, all of them doing it now, right?
Right.
It's
So,
the culture.
my personal opinion, why did we don't talk about it now since we was always the villains?
Right.
So now we talk about it. We're gonna talk about it now. Not in a bad way, so they're gonna understand y'all been shitting on us. We're gonna stop that. So I want them to understand that we ain't coming to talk shit or none of this. We wanna show y'all the real talent that's bred with these guys that's from different hoods. You know what I'm saying? I know it can
And,
be done.
and it's bringing people together at the same
Exactly.
time.
Community.
Because the gangbanging thing gotta stop.
Yep.
That time is over with.
Man, dead over.
You know what I mean? That's over with. You know what I'm saying? You know,
It's ridiculous.
I mean, you at a point now in life where Crips wear red, Bloods wear blue.
So you know it's over.
So who's the enemy?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like,
Right.
what's the enemy now? You know what I mean? So it's time to like, let's be grown men. You know what I mean? Let's be fathers, let's be uncles, brothers, and let's take care of our people. And let's take care of these black women because y'all are targets right now.
Mm-hmm.
Horrible.
Y'all are targets. You know what I'm saying? And it's up to us. You know, the black man, that's what the black man was put here for, is a protector. You know, and the black woman can move in ways that we can't move. You feel me? You know, I tell people all the time, I was just telling them earlier today, do people really think Obama thought he could be the first black president? I believe Michelle put that shit in his head. You feel me? Late night, like, hey baby, you know you can be the president, right? He probably like, nah, stop it. You think so? Yeah, you can be the
Now you
president.
bullshitting, you bullshit.
You feel me? Bullshit. You can be the president.
You know,
And she's like, no, you can be, you know what I'm saying?
For real, for real.
I mean, you know.
I'm kind of tired of giving us a label when we running with it.
Right.
They gave us African American out of nowhere. We ran off with it. Why?
Right?
Yeah.
I still say black.
Thank you.
If it's not on the application, I put other black.
It's
Real
just,
talk.
and then it's,
Fuck
I'm
you.
tired of them saying,
Real talk.
but they doing this to hold us back. I don't accept that no more. I'm smarter than that.
Right.
They want us to say that.
Right.
They want us to believe we can't. I told my son, he's 12, don't listen to that. He ain't holding you back. You can go get what you want.
Anything you want.
You know what I'm saying? Because soon, I hear I got nephews and nieces, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. When they've been holding us back, I say, for one, I'm 51. I wasn't here for slavery, so I can't talk about it. My mother can. They teach them about it, but I don't feel we should sit and talk about it unless we really know it. We wasn't there. My mother, I have never shared a room with my sister in my life, so I can't talk about poverty. He might can. I don't like when they don't separate it the right way. Because all of us wasn't in that position to say, oh, I didn't get to eat last night. Come on, man, let's not do that.
Right.
They want us to do that.
Right.
I don't want to do that.
You can give in.
Yeah, perpetuate an image.
Yeah.
When you got successful black people out here, and when we do have successful black people, our own people got to stop hating on them.
Exactly.
It's not they acting funny, it's not they acting whatever, If a person works and gets to a certain position in life, you have to respect that.
Give him a hand.
You don't know what he went through to get
Applaud
to,
him.
that position in life.
Yes.
It don't mean he a sellout, he forgot where he came from, or whatever. And even if he did, it still don't matter because it's still showing somebody else that's coming along that it can be done.
Right.
Because it's not about us, it's about the kids.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Leaving a legacy.
Yeah, and we gotta show them that it's hope out here.
Yeah.
We can't let our kids feel like it's hopeless, because then we depending on them to take care of us when we old.
And that's that Gen Z.
You feel
know
me?
what I'm saying? And if they don't have the foundation.
Come on, man.
Because they messing these kids up, man. I was just telling the kids last night, I said, what fuck y'all? They put this weed out here for y'all that tastes good. That's why y'all sprung.
I'm guilty. I'm guilty. I'm sprung. I'm a
No,
junkie,
think about it. We grow with seeds.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Right.
Ain't had it-
And
we had some
everybody was
food.
smoking weed back then.
Exactly.
Right? Everybody was smoking it like that.
And now, and it's like they ran off and they don't know how to act. None of them.
They got edibles, they got vapes and all kind of shit.
I said, y'all
Yeah,
didn't
we
take-
didn't have
You have a
access
little
to
mini
all that.
coma.
Then they say, well, I can't smoke out of this because I need, man, y'all taking the fun out of this shit. Stop. Come on. Man. But no, I just want at the end of the day when we drop this, it opens up the eyes to everybody that they wasn't just doing it because it's not scripted. I said it's not gonna be no script. I want you to say this. None of that. I don't even introduce them. I let them introduce themselves and what hood they from and what made them bang. We go from there because they took gang banging and watered it down.
It's like being from a rap group.
Okay.
It's a boy.
Again, I never banged.
You're like a rapper and just one.
Yeah.
But I know gang banging. I grew up around a gang of them. So now they watered it down, and the cast has been really putting in work for their hoods, watching how they tearing their hoods up because they watered it down. They put cats on TV. And I'm not talking about no one specifically. Let's get this straight.
Overall.
Right? Overall, that part has never banged. Know nothing of it. So they make these movies. My opinion, say you make a movie about the Bloods and the Crips. Go get them. Some real Bloods and Crips off the streets and do it. Stop making this guy don't know nothing about it.
Understand this, actors.
Right.
To make it, you know what I'm saying? So I said I want you to do that with this. So it's crazy that when I connected with Farrah and he connected me with my guy right here, and then he connected me with him. Then so many connections came. I'm like, oh shit.
Because I'm tired of seeing the same people
And everything that come out.
describe
Represent our culture.
our
Yeah.
culture and our life. And it's nothing towards them. It's
No.
nothing towards them. But it's other people that's involved. It's not just you. You are not our culture. It's other people who have struggled and lost and, and took black eyes for this and everything. So, let's give them a chance to tell their story too. And at the same time, show unity, because the biggest thing about this documentary is you got Bloods and Crips.
And we in the same spot,
You know what I'm saying?
drinking, smoking.
I did
It's
right.
not no
Right.
facade.
You know,
It's not a facade.
you got OGs that was hating, but these same dudes that you gonna look at in this documentary years ago they hated each other.
What do you think about that, Flo?
if I'm on the board, you know, I'm not gonna put myself in no position, I'm not gonna sign up with nobody, you know, I don't do videos and none of that. I'm gonna do a documentary
Right.
because it's documented.
Gotcha.
You dig what I'm saying? Video, you can put shit together and all this, but once a nigga document something, that's documented, you know what I'm saying? So when they call me, anytime Fat Rat call me, you know, that was my boy, I'm coming, cause I know he ain't finna be able to put me in no goofball situation. When I met Legs and them, when I walked in the studio, it was just like,
Right.
and like he said, he wasn't no scripted. Introduce yourself and let the cameras roll.
Genuine people with a story to tell.
And what I did.
And he had a bottle of Moet for me when I showed him. So you know I love him. You know I love him.
This what it was.
Yeah.
I said, when he hooked me with him, it was over the phone. So I'm still in LA and I said, nah, that's the OG. I gotta pull up.
He pulled right to my house. He pulled right up and introduced himself. That's just what he did.
And that's what I did.
Because you gotta create a rapport with people.
Exactly.
Right.
If you really wanna understand that person.
Yep.
You have to create a friendship and a rapport, and then you can sit down and talk about who I am and why I am and how I am.
Right.
Yeah.
You know
And
what
when
I
Fat
mean?
Rat called me, it wasn't even no situation to be like, man, you know, because anytime you mention doing something with a bunch of Bloods and Crips, first thing nigga like, man, who's it, who? I ain't gotta ask that, because I know when my nigga say it, it's for real. And then when he explained to me what's going on, I'm on board with that, because everybody know I'm gonna give it to you raw and uncut. You know what I'm saying? I ain't even gonna play with it, so.
But see, the thing is this, even though we was young and we came up gangbanging, if you are a person that really went through these transitions that we went through, then you understand is when you went to jail, going to jail instantly gonna change your vision on how you look at things, because now you in a position where you might wind up in a riot with some Southern Hispanics.
Not Mike, you're gonna get it.
Or some Aryan brothers. So guess what? The same dude who you was in LA trying to kill, now y'all back to back in the penitentiary trying to keep each other alive.
Live, exactly.
So now once you do that, when you come home, I can't be the same person that I was, because now this dude is my friend. You know what I'm saying? And now, because when you sit in prison, especially if a dude is your seller, you talk about your kids, your family. I know this dude on a personal level.
Yeah, y'all done got to know each other.
We really are friends now.
This dude that watched my back while I took a shower, I didn't
Right.
watch his back while I
You know,
took a shower.
so
It's
now I
serious.
can't come home and talk and be the same person that I was.
Yeah.
You know, because now it's disrespectful to him. You know what I'm saying? So it's really a thing of just trying to show how we all came up, and then how this music thing is a marriage into all of this. How it brought us all together. How you have like a West Side connection with a bunch of Bloods, Chris Mack 10, Squeak Rules in the documentary, Ice Cube, Dub C. You know, they was one of the first rap groups that had Bloods and Crips. Genuinely running together, getting money together, taking care of their families together, being men in their houses together, representing themselves, you know what I'm saying, in the community. Those are the images that we want our kids to see. Right, being a man, representing your queen, you know, taking care of your kids. Because they're like, because we doing this gang, I raised all my kids were raised in my house. I raised all my kids. I've been in prison and things like that, but I raised my kids. You know what I'm saying? I was a father to my kids. So, you know, everybody's not an animal or a monster, and you know, and we had other dreams and ambitions and things just like anybody else. You know. So that's the thing I like. When he brought it to me, and when he explained to me what it was he was trying to do, I was all on board, because I'm like, man, that's telling the real story of who we are.
And I want to put it out there on the table now. We're not excluding nobody.
Okay.
If I hit you in your DM, I want them to hear this. And you don't answer, it's not my fault.
Right.
And
It could
because
have been a part
I
of it.
feel like we already went through too
We
much
tapped
with
in with a
rap.
lot of people that didn't, you know.
You know, and because DJ Quick, Snoop, Mac 10, Dub C, MC8, I had to respect it because they came in the game, they was from somewhere.
Right.
That's California. So how would I look trying to do something like this and don't at least get at them? You know?
Right.
I haven't got it all of them yet. So far out of that bunch, I only got that Dub C, where his manners twice. We chopped it up. I haven't heard no more yet, but I have to respect that because I ain't from no hood. But I don't want nobody to think we did that, excluding them because
It's
niggas
not
don't really
taking
fuck
nothing
with
from
me.
nobody.
No,
And that's the main thing we want people to understand is that it's not taken from nobody, none about
Nothing
your
at all.
story or none of that. This is just a group of people that said, hey, I'm with that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what it is. You know?
Because at the end of the day in California, once you started banging, they call you, you're supposed to come. Supposed to tell TV, I'm gonna sit this shit down for a minute, I'm going to gotta see what they talking about. We didn't make you, we didn't put you from no hood, you did that yourself.
Right.
You knew the meaning when you got on there. So we calling this this is what it's about. We want to show them that y'all can do this. That's my whole goal, to show the rest of the world that, oh, hold up. Them ain't no dummies. Them not just niggas that want to get up in the morning, go out there and shoot them up, bang, bang.
Right.
You know, they got
It's never
intelligent. Man,
it's never been about that.
Bro, when I talked to Bronco on the phone, I dropped my phone. Bro, he said some things, I was like, man, you smart as shit, you know? But when I went to Horseman, I had a dude, when I was at Horseman, man, he used to come to school, he had all A's, but he was straight from 60.
That's like me when I was growing up and I was involved doing my thing. You know, I had older homies from my neighborhood that if we was hanging out in the neighborhood before 3:30, they would literally throw you in their car and take you to school and drop you off.
Whoever which was guilty by association.
And be like, don't come over here
Yep.
don't come over here before 3:30.
Yep.
When I went to Crenshaw, they would DP they homies that didn't go to class.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And if you with them, you guilty by association.
Straight up, they coming in, but then they homies ain't going to class.
Yep.
They're pushing their line on
Go to school.
them. Straight up, they wasn't.
We
playing.
have quite a few people from our neighborhood. I mean, they are high school graduates, college graduates. I mean, I graduated from UCLA, and I came out of prison and did that. You know what I mean? I worked there, and you know, I took the whole route. I went to LACC first, did my 2 years there, got my associates, took my grades to UCLA, took my money to UCLA, and got me a business management degree.
Uh-oh.
You know what I mean?
Look at Lori.
I know y'all Trojans. I know y'all Trojans. We gonna love each other.
Keep it moving.
We
Right.
gonna love each other
Right,
today,
right,
though. You know what I'm
right,
saying?
right,
We're talking about that on another day.
Yeah.
You know, it's all about them Bruins over here, though.
I'm a Trojan over here.
Yeah.
Trojan. I'm king.
Old J. Marcus Allen.
I'm on king. You already know the play.
That is,
Cottage in the neighborhood.
that is so exciting. Oh
Yeah,
my.
just stay out of Westwood, that's all.
Can't get in the motherfucker.
Stay away from Mary's Deli, man. That's what we got.
Well, I'm looking to drop it. Alright, I thought about it. I was gonna go Christmas Day. I'm gonna hold back, cause you know everybody with their families on Christmas Day.
Right.
I'm gonna do New Year's Day.
That's a good time.
That's a great day.
Yeah, that's a good time.
What you say? Red carpet press street, nigga, we're gonna do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We're gonna talk about Sony Music, hold on.
What has been the most inspirational experience you've encountered in your process so far?
For me, it's just seeing the different people from different areas of Los Angeles who are willing to be involved and tell their stories and give you a insight on who they are, why they are the person that they are. And, and the thing that brings us all together from all these different areas is the music. That, to me, that's the biggest thing.
That was the savior.
That was the savior for a lot of people, because it was an outlet, it was an avenue to go do something productive that you love to do, that's gonna impact people and inspire, and because like I said, those times when we came up, music was poetry.
Yes, it was.
It was content. It was, when, you have like, pretty sure we would understand having a girlfriend or a sister or somebody when she going through something and she throw that Mary J. Blige in or something. They always got them songs.
I was coming up with my sister through that Babyface Tender Love album. I'm like, damn, she went side too. She must be really going through it. She flip the tape over. Shit.
You know, they'll talk to you through them songs, man. You know what I'm saying? She mad at you when you get in the car, she throw a certain song on. You
Not
here we
gonna
go.
cry.
Here we go.
My sister was Jagged Edge.
Jagged Edge.
Oh, Jackie gonna talk to him one time.
Hey,
Man.
I had my songs, they had theirs, I had mine too.
Yeah,
Yeah, I had my songs too.
Yeah, so, you know,
That's what I had for him.
that was the biggest thing for me, is just seeing how everybody came together, and the thing about it too is it's introducing all of us to different people that we didn't even know. I didn't know Bronco from Watts, you know what I mean? I didn't know certain people that's involved in documentary, and now we are all friends, you know what I mean? Because we all came together on the same page as far as, you know, it's time to move on and be grown men, you know what I mean? That the gangbanging thing is really over. If you really out here being involved with gangs in 2021, it's crazy.
Yeah, you really fronting,
I mean,
you fronting.
you real. That's over with. That's over. It's really, we did it for a reason. You know what I mean? It was kind of late in our lives. Now, when I was coming up in school, we didn't have to. It was no computer class. There were not computers. You had wood shop. What was that? Home ec.
Graphic arts.
You know what I'm saying? Something like
Art
a
class.
typing class.
And music programs.
Right. You know what I mean? You have options as a young person. You can go on the internet. You have options. When I was a kid, you had to go to school and get a work permit. And you can only work like 20, 25 hours a week. You know, the minimum wage was $3.35.
I know, right?
You know what I'm saying?
Easy. That was my little Newberry job. I made $3.35.
You know what
Good
I'm
old
saying?
Newberry, Woolworth.
Hey, I sat up one
Yeah.
night on my couch high one night tripping. I just thought, I was like, what if the social media and all that shit would have been when gangbanging back in the day when we started? I don't think it would. Where would that?
Whoa.
It would have died.
Yeah.
But you remember back then, you would have got beat up taking a picture of a nigga on the block in the hood. Yeah, you would have got beat up trying to take a picture of a nigga
We
back
didn't
then.
take pictures.
Yeah, you'd have got beat up.
You didn't take pictures.
And I know that to be
You know
true
what I'm
because
saying?
one of my homies, rest in peace, he would
Now
never take a
everybody
picture.
taking pictures.
I tried to take a
We didn't
picture
take
in his
pictures like
casket.
that.
When he
Unless it was at a
passed,
funeral.
the picture didn't even come
Something
out.
Nigga damn near got him beat.
That's a real story. Tripped me out.
Oh, my
He would never take pictures. I used to try to get my homie to take pictures all the time. You know, he's a deep boy, real one. And that nigga would never take pictures. When he passed, I
You
stood
didn't
over
want
his
to wind up in
casket
the, you didn't want to
and
wind
took
up
his
in the
picture.
police station.
and the picture didn't even come out right.
No way.
I swear. I
Oh
swear,
my
Jackie told you that.
Because you didn't want that picture to
And
wind up in the police
yeah,
station.
niggas didn't play that back then. Niggas,
No.
you couldn't take no pictures of no niggas.
But
They'd think you was the
The
police.
difference
Yeah.
too is, back then, we wasn't dealing with technology.
Exactly.
They dealing with, now you got that blue light that be blinking on the pole in your neighborhood.
They just track it.
That tells the police where that gunshot
Shot
came. You know that,
came,
right?
Right.
Wow.
That blue light that's blinking, that
Yeah.
tells them, that's why they can pop up in 2-3 minutes and they know where that gunshot.
Where the facility.
So they, it's a different time, plus, there's really no need for it right now. You know, and back then, it was more of a need for it because, the times were different. You had
Yeah.
people coming from other gangbanging was, when we was young, it was about, you're not gonna come over here in our
It's really
section
protecting that section, yeah.
and rob our women, our mamas. You're not
Sell
gonna come over
dope,
here and sell
none of
dope.
that.
You're not gonna come over here and do none of that. You know what I mean? That's what it was about.
Even though our dumbasses is over here doing it.
Right.
Yeah, we not gonna let y'all go
But
over
at
here
the
do it.
same time,
On goal.
at the same time, we was the type of person that when the homie was in jail, we went over there and took his mama trash out, cut her
That's
grass,
for real.
washed her car. You know what I mean?
All that.
It's not what, that gang tag that people put on is not a bunch of monsters just running around killing people.
The mentality that
It's
was
just
tagged
people that's
on me.
proud of their community,
Family.
you know what I mean? They protect their community, and we protecting the people that's over here in this community. You're not gonna come over here and rob these women over here. You're not gonna do nothing to
It ain't going
nobody
down.
over here. It's not going down. You know what I mean? And that's what it really was. You know what I mean? So now anything outside of that you doing, you on some weird shit.
Lord, I told you some weird.
You on some
Yeah.
weird shit.
Let me
We
add one
don't
more
get
point.
down with that.
She always get on. What I always tell you, sissy?
But now you have no need. You have no need for it because we did that already. You know what I'm saying? Why would you want to?
You try to play the Super Bowl over
If I
again.
done ran into a brick wall already, why do you want to go over there and run into the same brick wall? And I'm telling you that it's gonna hurt. That's like when you was a kid, your mama said, don't touch that, it's hot. But what we do?
Touch it.
Right, and what
Is
happened?
it how hot?
Right.
Is it hot or is it hot
And you
hot?
might
right?
got your ass whipped.
Yeah,
For touching, that's what told you don't touch it.
Another
Yeah,
thing
yeah,
is,
yeah.
another thing, we didn't eat our own like we do now, as far as,
Right.
like, if you had potential, you couldn't hang around. Now if you got potential, they wanna bring you down.
Right.
And the last point of it is, now brothers recycle other brothers' lifestyles in man years, meaning you got compensated registered informants that are placed in certain areas of the community to specifically flip other niggas to get years and time and indicted and from within, and the government pay these niggas so much
Right.
money. It's more money in being,
Snitch.
They give you 20 to 30,000 off the top.
the last time you
Sign
seen a
up.
crackhead.
Just to sign up and
Government
say,
sell the
I'm
dope
gonna be an
and the weed
informant
now.
for you.
Huh.
Then they give you anywhere from $3,000 to $5,000 for every person that you take
Yeah,
down.
CRI.
You right, because they paid the
They
guy
got
that
a
got
number.
me, they paid him
That's what
$35,100
they do.
and sent it to Denver, Colorado.
Yeah,
And it's tax-free.
tax free.
They don't sign no
You
W-4
just
for
here,
this.
here's your money, just go.
They don't sign no W-4 for this.
And
You
everybody
just make
can
sure
bring-
you got some
everybody
man
can
years
bring
for
us-
me in a allotted time of months that our
Wow.
agreement is, Huggy Bear.
Mass incarceration.
Yeah.
Right.
At its finest.
Big business.
And they're so garbage.
And-
When I got out, I went to the liquor store, they sent them in the store right behind us after me and my crime and got out. And they was parked in the cut across the street.
And then when you go to jail, I don't know about down here, but in Sacramento, I went to jail in Sacramento, right? You know, the jumpsuit, the t-shirt, drawers, the shoes, you know who name was on everything in that jailhouse?
Bob Barker.
Bob Barker.
Price, the
Price
price
is right.
is right.
Bob
That's what
E.
Bob Barker did with his
The
money.
jackets, the jean coats, the everything,
Everything
the
that you wear
slides.
in jail says
Bob
Bob
Barker
Barker.
is Gucci of
It's his
jailhouse.
That's it. That's what
He's
he did.
Levi.
So the price was freaking right.
That's what he
Right,
did.
motherfucker.
Bob Barker.
Come on down.
Yeah.
That's what
And the
Bob did
family
with his
probably
money.
still eating off of that.
Yeah, mate.
He
101.
invested in private
Come on
prisons.
down.
Yeah, you got the CCS.
Family still eating off of that, that's crazy.
At the
No.
level of the game, probably not, they ain't even letting us do this
Come
little
on.
week going, we ain't gonna
They don't let us, you know how that is.
That's a good guy.
No, there's no, I don't know of any black folks that, and first of all, I don't know why you would want to own that. If you do, you know what I'm saying? Why would you want to be a part of that? You know what I'm saying? Because, if anything, it should be about rehabilitation. Because incarcerating somebody does not make him a better person in society. It actually makes him a worse person.
It makes him more of an animal because you put him behind a cage.
Right.
But the money is in the revolving door.
Yeah.
But that's what they want him to
No,
do.
not in
They want him to keep coming back, coming back, coming back.
Yeah.
Ain't no
Because it's
in
money.
peace.
How can we make a difference in that?
Just by leading by example. We gotta change
Start with us.
it starts with us. We gotta lead by example. The people that people look up to, you have to hold yourself to a higher standard.
Right.
You know what I mean? The kids is looking up to you, when you know that these kids and these people are looking up to you,
You gotta lead him in the right
you gotta
direction.
lead them in the right direction because it's your fault, because they look up to you. The reason why we are the people that we are right now is because of the people that we admired when we were kids.
Right.
The reason why Flossie is who he is, because Flossie looked up to somebody when he was a little kid.
Right.
And it made him become who he was. Kato, Leg, all of us. You know what I mean? So what example are we gonna set? Because at the end of the day, it's not about us no more. We grown. It's about the kids. We gotta stop talking about us and start talking about what really matters.
And hold each other accountable.
And
Yeah.
hold each other accountable.
And that's what
It's
they don't
about
do no
these
more.
kids.
Social media messed everybody up.
Wow.
We don't have an opinion no more.
I'm gonna tell you what social media did. If social media made it where we don't understand how to interact with each other no more. Nobody can interact no more, even on a level in relationships or whatever.
Right?
Nobody knows how to communicate with each other
Without
anymore.
arguing.
It has to go through this, this is the common denominator
Right.
now,
If you
yeah.
call them, they gonna text you back. What's up?
Exactly,
Right?
for real,
I
right.
hate that.
Text you a paragraph.
Oh my goodness.
I'm gonna
Even
text
do
you
the
a
recording
paragraph,
shit.
but I won't answer the phone when
Won't
you
pick
call.
that
You
motherfucking
kill me with
phone.
talent, oh, you kill me with talent.
Personal interaction
They
is
can't
for a
keep it
reason.
100 when ain't nobody looking.
It's spiritual.
And then you don't need all that extra shit out
It's
there.
They
spiritual.
made it easy for somebody to talk shit and you can't talk shit
Me
back if you
and
want to.
me and you could never become friends over that. You know what I'm saying? Now that me and you met each other, the relationship is different now.
Right.
Because you can feel my energy.
Right, correct.
Because we are a vibrating people. This is all vibration.
Yes.
You feel me? So I need to feel your vibration. I need to feel his vibration. That's what this all is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's gonna tell the
You know,
negative. or the
so
positive.
that thing right there takes away from us growing as a people. That's a terrible thing.
It's sad because you can't leave out the house without this
I'm
now.
gonna tell you something else about the cell phone, and I had to check myself on that. When we were kids coming up, we had beepers, right?
Mhm.
I'm gonna tell you the beauty of a beeper. We knew who everybody's phone number was.
I was talking about that the other day. We go to jail.
If you
I
go to
knew
jail,
everybody
I don't know
there.
who nobody.
Now, you
Once
could-
I put your phone number in my
Push a
phone,
button, that's
Yeah.
I never look at it
And you
again.
call this person every day, go to jail tonight, you can't even
I
call
don't
that
even know my
person.
kid's phone number
That's
by heart
crazy.
right now.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You know what I mean?
That
But when
is
you
so
had that
true.
beeper, you knew who
That's
everybody's
so
phone
true.
number was.
Right.
Every smoker,
Everybody.
everybody, yeah.
When you see the number, you're like, oh, here she goes.
Yeah,
Oh, that's my mama right
And
here.
had everything
You know what I mean?
memorized.
Oh, man, that's the truth. You can't
Oh,
remember.
baby, I ain't gotta write your number
Hey,
down. Somebody memorize it.
Man, for real, somebody
like
need-
that.
Oh, yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I remember, I forgot when, I think it was 2004 when I went to the pen, right before it was all starting to
It's a
evolve.
gift and a
And,
curse.
and I remember my first time when I think we was having, the church or whatever, and I went to jail and the memory from all the phone numbers started slipping away, cause I was
Right.
too used to just hitting people name.
Man.
And I tripped in jail one day, it's like, damn, that's a trip.
It-
Then the next time I went to jail, it was out the window, there was nobody's number.
That right
Nobody,
there,
no.
in the way that it takes away from us interacting with each other.
That was a big problem
You know,
too, yeah, that's a big problem.
That's horrible. It's
Yeah.
horrible, you know.
Yeah.
I always tell my kids, you know, sit them phones down sometime and talk to each other. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I have kids by different mothers, but I make sure that my kids, if you don't talk to me every day,
Talk to each
make
other.
sure y'all talk to each other every day.
At least, yes.
You feel me? Because when I'm gone, y'all still gonna need each other.
Exactly.
You feel what I'm saying? You know what I mean? And that's important. And put that phone down. Don't FaceTime each other.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Those busy-
Go meet up with each other and sit down and feel the love from each other. You can't, how can you love somebody that you don't see every day and feel every day? That's hard to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? I understand, I get you and all that, but
But at some point, you gotta have some human.
contact, because that's what we are. You know what I'm saying? We are, you know, people of that. You know what I'm saying? And once they take that away, now we all like walking around like robots.
That's what I'm thinking. Everything's automated.
And that's what they're trying to do. What it is they desensitize everybody. When you start seeing killing every day, guess what? Eventually, killing ain't gonna, you gonna be
It
like,
ain't gonna bother you.
Right.
It don't bother
No
you
big
no
deal.
more. Now you've been desensitized. You feel me? So that's what it's like, that's what's going on. The coronavirus, when I think about that, I think about population control.
Yep.
I think about desensitizing people. You know what I mean? I think about, you know, they wanna see who gonna take the vaccine, who not gonna take it. Who's programmed and who's not programmed. You know what I mean? I think about things like that. You know what I mean? Yeah,
We do.
it's crazy.
You have to, or you should. You know what I mean, Rashid? Kind of digging in a little bit. Wow, Lord G, you see how the train is going tonight? What you thinking about, Miss Chris? How you doing, Mrs. Fisher? Any commentary for that?
You know, I got a whole lot to say. I wrote it in the chat though.
Let's do it.
Being black.
Uh-huh.
You know, I'm learning how to be black first, because when I think about inclusion and how we just stop thinking about ourselves and our people, we start gathering around with everybody else and taking everybody else in, and they surpassing us while we still sitting here looking like still going through the same stuff for 400 some years. So,
Right.
you know, it's like them getting together, Blood and Crips, I mean, that was something that wasn't even started by, we think it was started by the black folks, but it wasn't.
It wasn't.
It's the supremacist style.
It's called
that started all
COINTELPRO.
that. It came on down
It's called COINTELPRO.
to us, to make us think, because they wanna make you
That's
think,
what started.
oh, well, this is your hood, this is your, you know, we ain't got no business in our hood, yeah, our parents might own that house, and majority everybody's renting, we, you know, we don't own this and that. They didn't get all away with all of that, and when you try to have all of that, But then again, now the tables have turned and we are waking up. So those who are waking up, that is like the best thing ever. So them talking about that and them getting together, because when he said something about the jail, it's like, okay, the jail system. If we can look at the jail system as the supremacist, and when you come out of jail, you know, hey, we still gotta do this. If we look at the system like that in real life, the system is the prison, so therefore we gotta be back to back, shoulder to shoulder, because literally this is war, especially when it comes down to economics and power, business, money. That's all. This is war. That's all they just think about money. That's all they think about is money. But we have to protect our own, because you know what? Ain't nobody else doing it. Look at what's going on. Everybody, every other nationality trying to come against us. For what? And we ain't done nothing. We the most kindest people as it is on this planet.
We
To
quick
a
to
fault.
run today movement, so they get all rest.
We built this
Hence
planet.
the
We
Asian
are the
movement.
mother and father of this
We
planet.
built this place.
Anyway, yeah, that's all I have to say, y'all.
That's real talk,
On
though.
my mouth.
Right,
Yeah, that was real
thank you,
talk.
Chris, I appreciate that, sis.
Yeah, real talk.
You know, she always gonna break it down.
Yeah, Chris,
for me.
but what you was talking about far is with the games, it's called COINTELPRO. COINTELPRO is what shut down the Black Panthers. COINTELPRO is what started the Bloods and the Crips. The Bloods were actually started to slow the Crips down. The Bloods was definitely started by the government. A lot of them not gonna want to accept that, but it's the truth. It was started by the government to slow the Crips down. You know, when you had Tookie Williams and Raymond Washington, you know, if you go back in history, it was an incident that happened at the Palladium. It was a cat that went to Washington High School named Robert Bilal. Bilal was his name? Robert. But he, back in those days, back in the, what was that, the 70s, late 60s, they was taking, the thing was to rob you for a leather coat. Leather coats were big back then for gang members. It was that's what they wore, leather coats, certain hats and stuff like that. So, with the saying was that Tookie robbed Robert Bilal for his leather jacket, and they killed him. That was supposed to have been the very first gang killing in Los Angeles. You know what I mean? Over a leather coat. Now, my thing is this, you know, is that really what happened? You know, or was it different situations that were put in front of this person to make him make those type of decisions? Because they say Raymond Washington started the Crips, but where did these ideas come from? You know what I'm saying? No, what made him say, okay, I want to wear blue, or this person say, I want to wear red? You feel me? Because we didn't create the color blue. We didn't create the color red. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like, when you really sit down and think about it, you know what I mean? It's like, where did this really come from? You know, and it was a thing that was like, when they broke the Black Panthers down, it was a thing that was designed to separate us. Cause anytime, especially back in those days, anytime they see us coming together, the Black Panthers is who started the WIC program.
WIC, yeah.
Women and children, they feed our children.
Shut them down fast.
Isn't that something horrible?
And
Shut them
took it
down.
over, and then took it
Took
over
it
like
over.
it was their idea.
Right.
Now we got welfare.
Typical.
Right,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
You know
maybe
what I'm
this,
saying?
yeah.
Typical.
So anytime, you know, we doing something like that, they want to shut that down. And that goes back to what I was saying earlier, you know, once you in it, you never will thrive in a system that wasn't designed for you. You know what I mean? All you can do is survive. Unless we gonna come together and say, you know what? Imagine if all of us as black people just one day said, guess what? What is it, 43 million black people in America? What if all 43 million of us left America?
They wouldn't let us.
Exactly,
Exactly.
right.
Yeah.
No, you're right. But hear me out though, sister. You're right. We built this. This is ours. But I'm just saying, imagine if all of us, at 4,300 million black people in America, we all just one day said, you know what? Y'all can have this. We out.
Off the spirit era.
Guess what? Guess what's gonna happen? Guess what's the first thing gonna happen? America gonna get invaded by every country on this planet.
Yeah.
Every single country on this planet.
The assets is
You're
leave.
right, they would not let us leave,
The
but
assets
we're not
is leave.
supposed to leave because our ancestors built this this country on their back. They spilled blood to build this country. This is our country, and this is a Native American country. You know what I mean? Yeah. 1.3 trillion a year we spend.
They get that back 4 times from our social.
The whole economy gonna shut down.
Crash, yep.
The whole economy would crash. But you can't stop these black folks from buying Gucci first thing in the morning.
It's that first thing with the
You know what I'm saying?
For real.
You know what I'm saying? It's some people out there that's gonna be like, you got me, man, you just don't buy nothing like that. I'm gonna be at Walmart as soon as it open in the morning. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, we definitely, if we came together like that, oh, we powerful.
I
Does
think we
They know
started.
it, and we don't know it.
It's a capitalist country. It's been, that's what, see, people, I had a conversation with somebody about the vaccines and how they came up with a vaccine so fast. You know why they came up with a vaccine so fast? Because coronavirus, because somebody said, well, we still don't have a cure for HIV or cancer because coronavirus affected the economy. HIV didn't affect the economy. The economy shut down behind coronavirus. So we gotta do something fast because it's a capitalist country. If we're not spending money, this country can't move.
Exactly.
So they're gonna give you the little 1,400 here, 600 here, because they know what you're gonna do. You're gonna spend it right back with us.
Back in.
The Jew, they say the Jew call us liquid gold.
Wow. As soon as
Because-
you get that money.
They say that in the Asian community, money stays in their community for 30 days before it goes out their community. In the black community, it stays in our community for 30 minutes
Shoot,
before we spend it with somebody else.
However long it takes to charge your phone.
We will never get nowhere doing nothing like that.
What you say, Lord G?
Navigate to the mall.
I know,
Right.
right?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's a,
I'm interested, what do you say, what advice do you have for, a young black man, part of Gen Z, growing up in America? What advice do you have for that person to make a difference in their community?
well, you know what? I was telling this young cat at the dispensary that I work at the other day. I believe that this young generation of people that's coming up now are actually gonna be the ones that's gonna change everything. Because this generation that's coming up right now, for one, is they fearless. They don't fear anything.
Right.
And they don't care about the things that were used against us in the past. They don't care if you black, white, gay, straight, trans. They don't care about none of that.
Yep.
This generation don't care about none of that at all. At the dispensary where I work at, we have 2 transgenders, we have gays, we have black, fat, skinny, everything. That's the thing that I love about it, is the diversity.
Right.
And this generation that's coming up now, they don't care about none of that. All they care about is what's right and what's wrong. So I think that if it's
So
any
true.
generation that's gonna change anything,
It'd be this.
it's gonna be the ones that's coming up right now. You know what I
Wow.
mean? Because if they don't change, it's gotta be them that's changing, because, you know, our time is past. All we can do is guide them
Right.
and give them the information.
And perfect us.
Still perfect us, without a doubt.
Naturally.
We still, you know, becoming who we gonna be too. But those are the ones who are actually gonna change it for the better, for the ones that's coming behind. Because that's what we all put here for, is to help the ones that's coming behind, you know what I mean? You know, and, you know, that's what I kinda look towards, this generation that's coming up now. You know, they some tough ones. They ain't playing. I look at them with the, you know, with the, Black Lives Matter and, you know, the different little things that they do, and, you know, this generation, they some tough kids.
Yeah.
They not playing.
What you think, Flaw?
As far as what, so what I would tell the youngsters now?
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah, I got a little story. It's a black nurse I know, right? And she told me one night they had a lot of shooters in the neighborhood. So about 3 Crips came in that had got shot and was killed. And then like 3 Bloods that came in and got shot and got killed. So she said she was in there in the autopsy room looking at all the bodies. He said she stood over him and said, now look at all y'all together now.
Wow.
On my mom.
Dig that.
Wow.
She said, look at all y'all, now y'all all together. Anyway,
That's cool.
That's an eye opener.
right,
Someone that
it
pays
opened my
attention.
eyes. When I heard that, and I'm an older dude. So that just really, just like it hit y'all, that's how it hit me. You know what I'm saying? So I try to tell that story to the youngsters every time. You know, when I talk to some youngsters, I try to hit them with that. Cause if it hit y'all like that, it may not hit a youngster that's out there, but somewhere down the line, he gonna think about that.
The only thing I can tell my black youngsters, our babies out here now, is just don't stop fighting.
Keep living.
I mean, keep pushing.
And don't listen to the bullshit.
Keep pushing. Cause it will change. It has to.
And
Everything evolves. Everything
It's that
changes.
music, and it's the influences, this rap, us as G's gotta take over this rap, I mean, you know, kinda take back the misinformation, the content of the rap, you
It's
know what I'm
gotta
saying?
start being something that me, cause that's what we grew up on. That's what
Exactly.
made us who we are.
Exactly.
You know, the Queen Latifah with the ladies first.
Yeah, see, we listening to,
You know what I mean?
we had some morals and respect in rap back then,
Right.
and direction. Now it's just, it's pill popping and all this, back then,
We gotta
you
stop
looked at,
that.
you looked down
Look at all the
on
rappers
using
that's
drugs.
done.
Now
Look at all the
they
young
get
rappers that's
glorified
done.
Yeah,
in
that's
that.
like, dude, that was some dope, no fees,
You
bro.
can never tell nobody you just, anything with drugs, you better not.
You can't, you gotta stop letting people tell them that it's cool to be a junkie.
That's not cool,
It's not
exactly.
cool to be a junkie.
They needed NWA. Don't get high on your own.
Yeah, pills and, yeah.
That's what we came up on.
Exactly. Yeah.
Great facts.
You wouldn't dare go tell nobody you were just finna snort in line.
Oh, no, that's
One of your
good.
friends will whoop
Your
your ass.
friends- Your friends
Because
will
we
whoop
cared
your ass.
about you enough to know damn well you ain't
I done
about
popped
to do
10
that.
pills.
That's
You
what you're
better
not
not
gonna do.
tell nobody that.
Not on my watch.
Yeah, for real.
Same thing I tell my youngsters around me. I'm a guy who's in the right way, you know. And now I have heard that from, you know, to be honest, the dope game is really what changed everything too. Because when I came up, there was no dope game. So when I came up in the gang culture, my big homies groomed us in a different way. They taught, like I said, we had to go to school, we were certain things. Then the dope game came along, so now people making money. So now, our generation, my generation, we dropped the ball. Because we was out of town, we was chasing money. So now we didn't groom these young dudes with the same knowledge that their generation groomed us with.
Yeah.
We dropped the ball.
But right.
Now we gotta realize that.
Tell them why you wasn't able to groom them. Because the best ability is availability, and the black man wasn't available in no homes. No more.
Real talk.
Right.
We love our mamas, our aunties, and our sisters. But
Grandma.
big mama house,
Yeah, that's
sleeping
mama.
heel to toe.
Right.
But black, under the laws of the people that we got that put in, y'all wasn't available to even be there to do
Real
that.
talk.
That's true too.
You know what I'm saying? Best ability is availability, and they took that. It wasn't a choice. It was like, we gotta deal with y'all not being in the home. It wasn't always, I'm giving a pack of cigarettes, daddy don't smoke and never come back. It didn't happen like that on the West Coast.
Right.
3 strikes, and before
They was
that,
out of there,
excruciating ass
25
lie.
lives, 15
You're
lives.
out of there.
Right.
So it was like, okay, you got these
It went
beautiful
from
women
rehabilitation
breaking
to-
their neck to raise young men,
Right.
and the only thing the young men got is they alternate daddy is the streets of music.
Yeah.
Maybe a jump shot,
He's a
Right,
baby.
maybe.
sometimes.
Maybe
Right.
catch
maybe a long ball.
Yeah, yeah. If you look.
Definitely wasn't golf.
Yeah.
What's that?
With tennis.
So, no, come on. So it was like, you know, not to, but that was a big thing because a person would look at this statement and think that it's a black woman mother bashing thing. No, it's impossible for certain things from the lady to give this little boy,
No woman can teach
you know what
him
I'm
how
saying, to
become-
where he can deal with
to
the
teach
rule
him to be
set
a man.
of the real world, not the one we watching on TV.
A woman cannot teach a little boy how to be a man. It takes a real man to do that.
See, it's so crazy because I was sitting there watching a cartoon with my son. He was like 8. So, because whatever he wanted, we'll do it. So, the little kids walking down the street said, when we get home, we're going to ask our dads. Oh, I said,
Yeah.
So I said, we watched it. They got home, there was 2 dads, right? I said, son, we watching this now. I don't have nothing against the gay community.
You gotta watch them
But
cartoons.
at the end of the day, why is they pushing out on the kids, bro? You know, it's like, I understand all that at the end of the day. Let our kids decide what they're gonna be in life. Don't push it on and make them think everything is okay.
They took the choice away.
You know what I'm saying? They making it look cool for everything because every gay person has a story too. Some been raped, and it turned them certain ways. We don't know it because they ain't tell us that. But they go to TV with it now with these kids and they watching it to where kids is growing up now saying they gay before they don't even know what gay is.
Prime example.
Well,
When,
let me just say this real quick. I don't mean to cut you off.
go.
The thing that people gotta understand too is this: with the changing of technology.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? With the kids, man. You know, before internet and all of this type of thing, you know, kids were raised. When I was a kid coming up, we were raised in stages. When I was a kid, I couldn't come in the living room with my mama and my dad and had company and all that around. You learned things. You learned certain things as you got older. But when this internet came in, now you got to give it all to them right now.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you don't, man, they're gonna hear from the school. They're gonna hear. So now you got to give it to them. And mentally, science has told us that these kids ain't ready for all this. You know what I'm saying?
To piggyback off that, remember when Luke and them came out, what would they do in those albums? They put a sticker on it.
Right.
You know, sticker on these cartoons and these stations
No,
to say,
yeah.
hey, this one is on this. Y'all taking the choices
They're
from us
giving
so
the kids
tough.
all of this right
If
now.
I'm washing dishes or throwing out some meat and seasoning meat and I ain't peeking at that cartoon, I done went on the same channel Legs went with his son where he thought he was spending quality time with his child.
Right. But he really
Being a-
watches something that's changing his whole thought process.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Because and no disrespect to the gay community.
Yeah,
at all.
exactly.
They understand by
Because
now.
I have friends that's gay.
They understand
My
by now.
uncle was gay. You feel me? I have no problem with
Not at all.
what you do in your bed because it's really not my business.
At all.
At all. You feel me? You know what I mean? But that right there is too much for a young kid. Their mind can't retain that type. You can't make a logical decision. Now, being gay is like, it's a trend. It's like being a gang member. Some of them ain't, how many girls, I've seen women that's supposed to be what they call studs, but you got kids.
So somewhere along the line,
You decided one night
we thought,
that I might wanna go,
Flip the script.
yeah.
I
You
mean,
know what I'm saying?
I just be confused because you
Because
don't
you old-
want a
because
man,
you
but
old
you
school.
want a dildo.
Because you old,
Figure me
because,
out.
wait.
you old,
Figure me out.
because
it
you
makes
old,
sense?
you old school though, bro. You know what I'm saying? You
They
gotta-
just want
and
the
that's-
pleasure
and that's one thing.
without the, consequences.
Right.
Because,
It's a consequence.
So you basically just
You gotta
define
understand this, though.
hard
That's a
headed.
hard rubber. That's a
you gotta
consequence.
understand
I'm gonna
this
leave
though,
it
man.
alone though.
We old school. Our thought process is different because of how we was raised. Those times are over with. So now either we gonna catch up with what's going on and try to make some sense, or we gonna have to fight against the school they go to, their friends, their environment, because that's what they spend most of their time at.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? We gotta evolve our thought process and we gotta say, okay, this is how we was raised, but that's not what's going on no more. You feel what I'm saying? I get what you're saying,
Yep.
but man,
It is too much.
it's too much for us. It's too much for us, but it's just, everything evolves. Everything changes.
That's one thing we can depend on is change.
It's gonna come.
Ladies and gentlemen, guess what? It's about time for us to wrap up tonight. Can you believe that? I'm sad. But we've had an amazing
We did
time.
that.
Boy, you gonna have our YouTube coming up soon, huh, Sissy? We'll have that tomorrow, probably.
The first thing, tomorrow morning.
Cool.
You guys wanna give your handles up with that and tell everybody know what's going on?
Mine is the real facts on Instagram. Derek Thomas on Facebook. I don't have a Snapchat. Tap in.
And Flossie, what you got going on tomorrow night?
Oh, check in the G. Lou show, man, 7 to 9
G.
p.m.
Lou.
You know what I'm saying? Shout out to G. Lou, Queen Jean, you know what I'm saying? Tomorrow night, 7 to 9 p.m. The G. Lou show, man. Tune in, man. We've been, it's been kinda wild the last couple of weeks. It's been going on. But shout out to everybody out there.
And let me say this too, my boy Kato right here. Smoke a Lot Radio with Yuck
Amen.
Mouth from the Loonies.
Amen.
And Kato, and what's your girl name was host with
Simone Taylor.
Simone Taylor.
All right.
Smoke a Lot Radio.
Simone. You
Yeah.
guys coming back?
Yeah, I wanna, letting everybody know if y'all wanna come out tonight on 129 East 3rd Street. I'm gonna be hosting at the Lexington Day Party, California outside. It's all, COVID-19 compliant. But, Smoke a Lot Radio, Digital Soapbox, catch us on the Bar Effect, that's Charlamagne the God Network with Gangster Chronicles and, KTOEFORNIA. That's all the handles, man. Rock with your boy.
Boy, listen.
On
The
99.
legs, you gotta get the legs. Ain't gotta get the legs. You gotta let them know the
All
legs.
right.
Thank
Come on,
you,
Liz.
Lori. Hey, Lori, I thank you guys for having me. Jackie, I thank you. Chris Fisher, it was a pleasure meeting you, my queen. You stay black and beautiful.
Isn't she?
Yeah, and I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all for having me.
You promised to come back though.
I'll anytime.
from
This,
Sacramento.
this right here is what I like to call courageous conversation. You know what I mean? Yeah, I like that. It was a pleasure, my pleasure. Anytime.
You good, King?
You can find me on
That's
IG at stickgang_leg_42, or you can find me on IG on the Weed Tees, or what's my other one? Stick Gang TV 101 and Stick Gang TV on IG.
Stick Gang Clothing.
Stick Gang Clothing, and on Facebook you can find me on Stick Gang James or
And
Stick Gang
look out
TV.
for Welcome to LA, Music and Gang Banging, the
Exactly.
documentary coming.
Check out
Smoke a Lot Radio.
my website
And
is
tap in with colas.com.